Lesson number 65 is about addition of radical expressions and weighted average. Now, a radical expression, well, that just means it contains a root or a square root. Now we need to add 4 times the square root of 2 minus 5 times the square root of 2 plus 12 times the square root of 2. Now what we're doing in this problem really is we're figuring out how many square roots of 2 we have. And you can see in the beginning we have 4 square roots of 2. Now from our 4 square roots of 2, we're going to take away 5 square roots of 2. If we take away 5 from 4, we're going to get negative 1 square root of 2. Then to that we have to add 12 square roots of 2. And when we do that, negative 1 plus 12, that's 11. So our final answer is going to be 11 square roots of 2. Or we could say 11 times the square root of 2. And we've got our final answer. Let's look at another one. Here we have to add 4 times the square root of 3 plus 3 times the square root of 5 minus 6 times the square root of 3. Notice all of our square roots aren't the same this time. So first we're going to figure out how many square roots of 3 we have. Well, we got 4 square roots of 3 minus 6 square roots of 3. So 4 minus 6, that must be negative 2. So we must have negative 2 square roots of 3. Then to that we're going to add 3 square roots of 5. So plus 3 times the square root of 5. And we've got our final answer. We can't do anything else because we're looking at the square root of 3 and the square root of 5, and those are totally separate numbers. So we can go ahead and box it, because there's nothing more we can do. Let's add again. 4 times the square root of 3 minus 2 times the square root of 2 plus 6 times the square root of 5. Well, square root of 3, square root of 2, square root of 5, this is the type of problem that you really hope for, especially on a test, because this is our answer. We can't simplify this or add this at all, because the square roots are not the same throughout. So we can go ahead and box it and move on to our next question. Our next question says, Jim's scores were 7, 6, 8, and 9. What is the weighted average if the quizzes were weighted 1, 2, 4, and 6, in that order? Now it's important to be able to figure out weighted averages. Weighted averages are still just the sum of the numbers divided by the total number of numbers, but we calculate it differently. This is like in math class where 25% of your final grade is for your class assignments, but 75% of your final grade is for your tests. So tests are 3 times more important than our class assignments because 75% is 3 times more than 25%. So let's do a problem to look at weighted averages. Well, the scores were 7, 6, 8, and 9. So to find an average, we know we add everything up. So 7 plus 6 plus 8 plus 9. And the weights are given to us, 1, 2, 4, and 6. So that's saying 7 is worth 1 time. 7 is worth 1 time. 6 is worth 2 times. So 6 is worth 2 times. Well, then we must have to have 6 2 times. So 6 times 2. Plus, well, the 8 is weighted 4 times. So we're going to say plus 4, but we're going to have to multiply the 8 times 4. The next, the 9, that's weighted 6 times as much. So plus 6, but what are we going to have to multiply the 9 by? Well, hopefully you said 6, because it's weighted 6 times as much. Now we can go ahead and find out what our weighted average is going to be, because it's telling us the 9 is 6 times more important than the 7, the 8 was 4 times more important than the 7, and the 6 was twice as important as the 7. Well, 1 plus 2 is 3, 4 plus 6 is 10, and 3 plus 10 is 13. Now let's add everything up in our numerator. 6 times 2, that's 12. And 7 plus 12, that's going to give us, well, if we work upwards here, that's 19. 8 times 4 is 32, and 9 times 6 is 54. 32 plus 54 must be 86. Now if we add those together, 86 plus 19, It's kind of like saying 86 plus 20, but we're going to take 1 away in the end, so we get 106 minus 1, that's 105. We could see our math done over here because 6 plus 9 is 15. We carry our 1, and 8 plus 1 is 10, so we get 105. So we get 105 over 13, and we could go ahead and divide that to find out what our answer is going to be. 105 divided by 13. Well, how many times does 13 go into 105? Let's try 8. 13 times 8. 8 times 3 is 24. We'll carry our 2. 8 times 1 is 8. Plus 2 more is 10. That worked out well. We got 104. So 13 times 8 is 104. We've got 1 left over. Looks like this one's going to have a mixed number answer. And a mixed number answer would be a great way to report it. So 105/13 is going to be the same as 8 and 1/13. That would be the average test score. I didn't write that very well. Let's make that look like a mixed number this time. 8 and 1/13. There we go. That looks better. This answer makes sense. It should be closest to 9 because 9 has 6 times the weight of our original score of 7. Okay, it's between the 9 and the 8 because the 8 had 4 times the weight of the 7. We'll practice those weighted average problems some more during our next class. If you've got a question, please write it down. But our lesson practice will be on page 266. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you soon.